Ok, pues ya estamos aquí en la conexión otra vez, ah, tratando de conectarnos con el actor Ryan Carnes para continuar con nuestra tertulia. Ok, here it is. Let's see how it works in this time.
Hey,
Now it's better. Okay, so yeah, you were saying that you normally speak Spanish when you drink a little bit.
wow, that's what happens. That's what happens with my character. That's what happens with
Okay.
my character.
So how many movies you've been doing? And how, how many years you've been working like an actor in this media?
Um, right now it's about 15. I mean, I did a little bit of theater when I was briefly in college before I realized that acting was way more fun than anything else that I was studying in school, and I wanted to give it a shot for real professionally. And so then I moved out to LA. I took a year-long leave of absence and moved to LA. And at the end of that year, I had to make a decision. Okay, am I going to go back, or am I just going to withdraw completely from the school? And I'm a year was enough for me to know that I really loved doing it. And by that time, I had already booked. I think I'd booked one movie. Did I lose you, Enrique?
Uh-huh. I see you here. Something
Okay,
wrong. Yeah, catch.
okay. I booked one movie, and then I had actually the year anniversary that I moved on the year anniversary that I'd moved to Los Angeles. I was on set shooting a Nintendo commercial, which got me my SAG-AFTRA card, which got me into the union. So it was a nice 1 year anniversary that day, and by that point I'd realized I think this is what I want to do with my life, and even if I change my mind at some point, college is always going to be there. The school's not going anywhere,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'll be back.
But you went to school to do like being an actor? Like you went to school to do that?
Well, no, I mean, originally, no. I went to school I wanted to go to law school. I wanted to be an attorney. Um,
Okay.
I'd always had this sense of wanting to see justice prevail in the world and wanting to help people. And so, as a teenager, the closest thing that I thought I could come to in doing that was being a lawyer and helping justice prevail. And so I was at school studying public policy. Well, I didn't know what I wanted to major in. I had tried psychology, sociology, econ, public policy, a kind of political science. I took some classes in all of those areas, and ultimately I decided that I wanted to major in public policy as a preparation for applying and going to law school. And I like public policy. I really enjoyed it. But then acting knocked on my door, and
And
I think that spoke to a completely different part of me. Probably, the child in me that had maybe felt like I hadn't gotten to really fully express the artistic side of myself growing up, and it ignited a spark, and
okay.
I couldn't deny it.
Well, that's what happened a lot with a lot of actors I know. Like they didn't even think to be an actor. They just someday they just went to some theater and see someone was doing some acting or whatever, and they just enjoyed that day and they enjoyed the time. And after a year after, they were like acting, or somewhere. Some of them they want to be a doctor, so they want to be a biologist, or they want to be something else. They don't want to be in the acting, like in a movie or whatever. And I don't know the coincidence, how is it that the life, getting to that moment and change the time, and now they're enacting. They in actors for 20 years. And they didn't even know what they want to be, when they were kids. They just they just want to be a doctor, or lawyer. So I hear the same story sometimes, with a lot of actors I know. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Like you find the way to express yourself and do what you like now. Because I know you've been acting, for 15 years now, and you've been in a lot of movies and series. And I don't know which movie, or by the time right now, which movie changed your life already. Some movie?
Well, I want to, before I answer your question, I want to add to what you just said, and that's that, you know, I grew up on a farm outside of a town of 4,000 people in Illinois. I grew up in a very rural area, and I didn't, you know, to me, like Hollywood, I didn't even know what Hollywood was, but, you know, acting, etc., you know, anything in the entertainment world, to me, just seemed like completely, like I didn't even have the ability to conceptualize what it would be like to do that. It seemed like a complete other world to me, something that wasn't within reach or wasn't within the realm of possibility. So, you know, I think that's one of the reasons why I never even had entertained it. As a child, I was music was my first love, and I was very musical and very much into that and performing. I was always holding concerts in the house. I was always performing for my parents and grandparents. I would literally invite my grandparents to our house. I would rearrange couch cushions and make a stage, and you know, so I think there was a performer in me wanting to express, but I didn't know that actually being an actor and doing that for a career, I didn't know that that was a thing. And then, you know, when I was in college and I'd learned a bit more about that world, and then I went to a scouting event for actors and models, and I met a man there who you know thought that he saw something in me, thought that he saw some kernel of talent or potential or something. And even though he told me straight in my face, like, you're not very good, but I think you can be trained. I think the you know, the raw
Yeah.
is there. So he's really the one who championed me and who inspired me to take the leap to LA. And his name is John Simmons, and he was my manager for a long time out
Okay.
here, like the first 10 years or something. And so, you know, it was really through that experience that I got to learn more about the world and go, oh, this is something that I can actually build a life doing. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
So go ahead.
No, no, I'm just telling you, I was thinking when you said that, because I have kind of like the same thing when I was a kid. The first thing when my parents asked me if what I want to be, or what I want to be when I grow up, I said I want to be an artist, and they say like, what kind of artist you want to be? And I said, oh, I want to be a ballet dancer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, the thing is, because I saw in the movie when I was like 7 years old, I was living in Guadalajara, and I saw the first time ballet dancer from Guadalajara traveling to Russia,
Mm-hmm.
and they say like, oh, an artist traveling to Russia and be on TV. So for me to be an artist, those three things, like someone to call you an artist. Second thing, to be on TV, and third thing, to travel in the world. So for me, that was in my mind, like to be an artist. So I say like, well, I want to be an artist. So my grandparents asked me like, so but what you want to be? Like, oh, I want to be a ballet dancer. I don't know, because I saw it first, on TV. So that was the first idea in my mind when I was 7 years old. After that, they asked me they say like, oh, you have to do, you have to try, you have to train, you have to practice, you have to do something else. I think dancer is not the best way to do something artistic. That's what my parents said when I was 7 years old. They want me to be a doctor. They want me to be a lawyer. They want me to be in the army. They want me to be something else, not in the artistic life. Because it's super. What it say a lot of things about the arts, the artistic way life. But that wasn't the first idea. That was the first thing I imagined to be an artist, because I saw it. You saw something like that, or what is the first idea when you start doing your performance to your family? What is it? How you get into that?
Well, so I think, yeah, I think it was a gradual progression for me. I mean, I started I started pulling pots and pans out of the kitchen cabinets when I was like 2 or 3. And fortunately, my parents had the wisdom and the foresight to go, oh, he seems to have an aptitude for like banging on things with sticks. Maybe we should get a drum. So when I was like, I don't know, 4 or something, 3 or 4, they got me my first toy drum set, and I really loved it and took to it and all that, and the neighbor kids like destroyed it, and I was very sad, and I think I asked for like a real drum set at that point, you know, like, because this one just had, you know, it was made of, I don't know, you know, plastic and had paper heads or something. And I wanted a real drum set. So they said, well, if you take lessons, we'll get you one. If you agree to commit to lessons, then like a year from now, we'll get you one. But I guess I'm skipping over a little bit. So another influence, another thing that happened around that a little before that time was in the country, out on a farm when I did, we didn't have cable TV. There was a thing as cable TV out on the farm, you know, in the mid to late 80s. There was a TV antenna. We got like 3 or 4 stations. That's it. So when I was stay with my grandparents who lived in town, they had cable TV.
Okay.
Had MTV. And at the time, you know, MTV actually played music videos. It wasn't what MTV is now. Like it was actually television. And I was obsessed with MTV. I could sit in front of the TV for hours upon hours and watch, like, you know, these incredible performers and musicians. And I not only loved the music, but I loved the performance aspect. And so I think one of my first Guns N' Roses was definitely a first big influence. Bon Jovi, I loved Bon Jovi, you know, as like a young kid. I think those two are probably like the major kind of rock and roll influences, the first one. And my mom was pretty cool. You know, she wasn't puritanical about what she would allow me to listen to. I guess she trusted that I was going to have good values and morals and stuff. So she would buy me, like she bought me the Guns N' Roses album, Appetite for Destruction, parental advisory, explicit lyrics on it. I had that cassette when I was like 5. And I'm so glad she did, because it totally inspired me and informed, you know, me today as a drummer and musician and all of that. So Bon Jovi was definitely an inspiration when I held the concerts at home. I think I was definitely trying to emulate him and what he was doing. And then, you know, as far as movies, I think from an audience standpoint, from an entertainment standpoint, but also something that I felt really connected to was Home Alone.
Yeah.
That was the first movie that I remember really falling in love with and watching over and over again. E.T. I think, you know, there was movies.
Well, you do like this. You say E.T. and you do like this.
When I was young, I would always I would imitate that. I would walk around that phone home, you know, drive. But I think for me, that moment spoke to me because it was so cinematic, it was so moving, and it was so like, wow, what is this? You know, that what is it about this that allows people to be moved so profoundly? And it's even, you know, communicating with a being from another world. And, you know, there was something that really resonated with me about that. And then a little further along, a little older, and I think this was probably the first time that I really, even though I had no concept of what being an actor was, I think it was the first moment that I felt really spoken to, and like something inside of me was like, wow, it would be really cool to be able to move other people in the ways that I'm being moved right now. And that movie was Sling Blade with Billy Bob, which it's just an incredible story, you know, about this young boy who befriends a mentally handicapped adult.
Okay.
And Billy Bob Thornton, actually, I don't remember for sure, but I think he wrote a short for that film first, and then he ended up getting financing for it to star in himself. And, you know, I haven't watched that movie in a long time. I don't really know how it holds up, but I know at the time, for its time, it was a really critically acclaimed, impactful piece of film, and it certainly spoke to me. And I think I wanted to be able to recreate that, you know, and tell a story that was really sincere and heartfelt and moving and inspiring, and that spoke to to the largeness of the human spirit.
Wow. Let's see it. Well, you you gave me with a lot of things in my mind. You know, normally I imagine everything what you said. That's how it works. Normally, that's how it works. Normally, you know, when I hear someone's stories, I start imagining. Also, you know, like to paint something. You know, to create something. So, I was when you say about MTV, about you know, I remember MTV. The same thing. I was in what is after elementary, junior high. Yeah, junior high, and I went to. I remember I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and the first thing I did, I remember I just turned on the TV and was MTV. At the same time, every morning, 6:15, 6:30, the same Metallica, Nirvana, man, every day at the same time they put the same videos. That was when I was like dressing to go to school. I was watching the dancing, singing. You know, like I don't remember. I didn't think I really know what the song said because I didn't know any English for that time. But I repeat and singing the music of Nirvana and Metallica. Man, I love those videos. I was watching that before I go to school. But I remember he changed a lot of things on my mind and my world when I was a kid. Like every morning I watch MTV, 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock in the morning. So I remember those days. But I saw you were like playing the drums. Like I saw on Instagram all your video and your pictures playing drums. Uh, did you play in a band like for concerts someday? You did?
Currently or when I was younger, when I was growing up.
See, what was it like no band in a city or something that you played with that?
I'm sorry, you're asking about do I play in one right now or did I?
No, if you did in a professional uh, concert way or something, the drum.
Yeah. So yeah, actually about so as I mentioned, music was my first love, but and I was in growing up in school, I was in jazz band and concert band and marching band and pep band. I was in all the bands growing up. But then when I moved to LA, I kind of set drumming aside. It had always kind of been a bit of a hobby for me.
Okay.
And my manager at the time, for whatever reason, he didn't think that it was advisable to be both an actor and a musician. He didn't want me splitting my energy. And unfortunately, I listened to that advice at the time. And so I just kind of set the drums aside. And, I played once in a while, I played a charity show with a guy I was on a show with a long time ago. And then about 5-6 years ago, I had done a lot of soul searching and I realized how important music is to me and was and is. And I kind of made this agreement with myself that going forward, I was going to look for projects. I was going to look for bands to play in because I really wanted to collaborate and make music with people. And not too long after that, I met a girl at a party who was she actually ended up being the younger sister of a mutual friend or like a friend of a friend.
Okay.
We connected and I went and jammed with her and her band one day and they said, a few weeks later, they said, well, our drummer and our bassist left, moving back to Colorado. We need a drummer, come play again and let's see how it goes. And so I ended up playing that band for about a year, maybe a year and a half. And ultimately it broke up because the singer and the guitarist were a couple and they broke up. So the band broke up, but that was kind of the first. And, in the last 5 years, I think I've played in, 4 or 5 different bands, cut a demo with one, but then before we could do anything with the demo, the band broke up.
Oh.
I started playing 3 years ago with a girl who's a singer-songwriter, but like in electronic music, and she called Project 01 or Product 01. Her name was Rochelle Vincente Von K. She was very well known. The band was very well known in the electronic scene in the early 2000s over in Europe. And so my first show with her was to kind of bring it full circle. It was
Okay.
before the Guns N' Roses had reunited for Coachella, and they were headlining Coachella. So
Okay.
Guns N' Roses had a party house, like off of the, not like away from the polo grounds, but like still within the vicinity. They had a
Okay.
party house, and it was called the Guns N' Roses Appetite for Destruction Party House, or something like that. So our first gig as a band, or my first gig playing with her, was playing on the stage at this Guns N' Roses party house.
Oh, cool.
I got to see and meet Duff McKagan that day. Um, and
You
then,
were so excited.
yeah, that band, we haven't been making new music or anything for a little bit, but about a year ago, I started with a girl who's now based on the East Coast named Vanessa Silberman. And Vanessa's she's just an awesome, like, punk, indie, garage rock and roll chick, and just such a good person. And we have a great musical rapport. And I've been playing with her for about a year, and we played a few shows in New York last fall. We played one at the beginning of March. We were supposed to play one at the beginning of April, but because of everything that's been going on, that show got canceled. But we've been working virtually. We've been having FaceTime sessions, working on songs, or she'll write a riff and record it and send it to me, and then I'll put some drums to it, or I'll come up with a beat, I'll record it, send it to her, then she'll write a riff to the beat.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so we've been making progress and staying active, and man, I'm excited for when all this lifts so we can get out there and start playing live again, because I love it. I mean, playing live shows is just there's nothing like it.
I know that's everyone is now by the time right now. I mean, this is the only way right now to speak with someone. It's virtual. But I know for sure, like everyone has to be wants to be outside to work normally. Normally been doing and say to talk to the people, say hi, everything what we want. But I know for sure everything's gonna change, and I hope it's past, soon, everything.
Yeah.
But what you said about that, but also, did you when you were you just play the drums? You don't sing. You don't play the guitar. You don't do another instrument.
What, man?
You sing?
Drums isn't enough for you?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just asking. I know your fans asking that. I'm just reading what everybody's saying that.
I'm just teasing you. So I don't play guitar. I don't play any other instrument, unfortunately. I wish, now when I was a kid, I just thought the drums were the only cool instrument, and I thought everything else was super lame. Like I didn't want to take piano lessons, like I thought that was lame. Now I wish I had taken piano lessons. It's not lame at all.
But you sing?
Yeah, I sing. Yeah, I sing a little bit. And actually, with Vanessa, I've been doing some more of that. I've been doing background vocals and gang vocals on I think most of the new music, most of the new singles. I can't remember which ones or how many of them it's been, but I've been doing a lot of that stuff with her. We're actually we're gonna work on a song that we both co-write together and that we probably sing on together. Like maybe she'll sing a verse, I'll sing a verse, we'll do some harmonies, and then beyond that, we may work on a separate project together where I get a little bit more involved vocally, because I love it, man. It's just not something that I ever put a lot of time into learning or crafting or getting good at. But I've been doing more of that in the recent few years, so it's exciting. I love it.
That's good. That's good. I mean, when you have the experiences of different ways of arts, like the music, the acting, also, I know you painting. I know you're a painter too. I saw you painting the border wall once.
Yeah, that's one of the few things I've ever painted in my life. But you might be happy to know that in my garage right now, I've got an actual canvas, like a 24 by 30 canvas. I've got some paint, and then I've got 4 or 5 just practice canvas. Like it's not the real canvas. It's just for people like me who don't know what they're doing to get crazy and mess up on. But I bought them a couple months ago, and I think I want to start playing around with it.
Okay, that's good. I mean, let me know if you want the online classes.
Okay. All right.
You know what is a good thing about this time? Like you get you know, like working in yourself, like you know, like the express, you know, taking everything out, you know, all your feelings, emotions. I mean, this time is the way what some I think we need you know, explore yourself, you know. So that's good. Right now you have your canvas. You start taking, you know, drop some paint, touching the textures, put some glue, put some how is it, you know, like sanding wood.
Mm-hmm.
What do you call it? You know, when you sand all the dust of the wood, right?
Oh,
You
like,
can, how is it,
sawdust.
I think so. Yeah, you know, like you can powder. You know, you can use with some paint to make that textures and make the figure on top of the canvas, and then you paint it. So you make those textures on top of the canvas. I mean, you can do a lot of things. You know, using everything what you have now. Like in this moment, like 3 weeks ago, I started like cleaning my house because I didn't have exactly, you know, like I have a lot of time now, you know, in my house. So I started cleaning, and then I went to in the back to my house. I have a big cabinets, you know, like those boxes, and I started taking everything out to see what I have there. And then I found a lot of material, painting, brushes. I don't know, I bought like 3 4 years ago, and I didn't know I have it in there. So I
Oh,
started like taking everything out, and now I have a lot of materials to work with. No, I mean, I'm having fun right now. If you see like everything what you see on in the back, there's a new paintings. I've been doing all these these days. You know,
cool.
yeah.
You,
I started working with a new collection called with the Little Prince
the Little Prince.
collection.
You know what, man? That's first of all. Before I respond to that, I just saw Disco Mary say hi. I'm sorry, guys. I haven't been able to say hi to everybody because we've just been talking so much. But I just saw Disco Mary log on and say hi. Oh my God, Disco Mary, I miss you so much. When do I get to see you again? I can't believe it's been so long. I love you, Disco Mary. Thank you for saying hi. Mwah. Um,
Thanks everybody to be connected. I'm sorry, yeah, we don't. A lot of people say like we don't speak English. I will translate it. Luego traduzco la entrevista al español.
um,
I will put some subtitles in it.
so I know we need something. So apparently, when I was younger, at some point I looked up what the name Ryan meant, or maybe I asked my mom why did you name me Ryan? Well, she named me she named me Ryan because she was obsessed with the TV show Dallas and the character JR, and she wanted to name it John Ryan, but my dad said no, we're not naming John Ryan. We can compromise and name him Ryan. So that's why I actually ended up with the name Ryan. But when I looked it up, wherever I looked, it said that the meaning of the name Ryan was Little Prince. So
Okay.
a collection called The Little Prince.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, if you think it, like, when I was a kid, I saw the first time the Little Prince in a school, right? And I saw like, oh man, that's so beautiful, you know, colorful.
Mm.
I went to get a book to do some drawings with the images. So I went to a market with my book store with my mom, and
Mm.
I saw like a book, A Little Prince, and my mom said like, oh, you want it? I said like, yes. So I took it, and she's like, don't open it, put it in the bag, and take it and open it when we were home. All right. So I put it there. We walked home. When I get there, I was so excited to open to get that book, The Little Prince, right? So I opened the book. You know, the cover was colorful with the Little Prince in a planet. And then I opened it and I started, you know, like doing like this. Was all text, just letters, black, you know, like lettering. I went like this. In the middle of the book, white image only, black and white. That's it. You know, so I was like, man, I want a little Prince book to get all the images and do all my drawings. You know, I was like 8 years old, so I was like kind of like sad, and I started reading it, and I saw the philosophy, philosophy of what the little prince has. You know, but I understand a different way when I was like, but at age. But I start doing all my drawings on all the imagination I have when I was reading. I just do a drawing. The second time I read the book was when I was 18, and I get a different way to the philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend it all the time, and I start doing some drawings with the image. 5 years ago, I start this collection because I saw the Little Prince in a different way. Now it's part of the life, the same way what I've been doing, working, speaking with the people, doing all the things. It's the philosophy of the Little Prince. So that's why I work a lot with these images. So if you see, like this one right here,
Mm-hmm.
it's me with the Little Prince in front of the border wall with our tats in different colors.
Cool. Love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing, man.
So I've been working with that image all the time. Like how I can change something. I mean, I know Little Prince is not for kids, but since we were kids, that's what we saw, and that's that. Everybody said like, "Oh, read the Little Prince." That's the Little Prince is for kids. It's not for kids. If you really read it now, when you're grow, you will see that's the philosophy that's different.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone back and read certain books that were supposedly for kids. Like there's a Shel Silverstein book about oh gosh, it's called like Where the Sidewalk Ends, or there's another one about the Giving Tree. I've gone back and read some of those books that I read as a child, and they're still just as applicable now.
And you get it different though. You get it different now. If you read it, since you were a kid, and maybe you had fun at the time, but now you read it, you get the story different. You get all a different emotion, different feeling about what is happening in the story. I know that for sure. So now what you do, I mean, in this time, I mean, you've been in your house. I don't know, for 3, 4, 5 weeks. I don't know what you've been doing. TikToks?
What do you say?
You've been doing TikToks or what?
No. I refuse to do TikTok. You will not catch me. The only way you would
please.
On,
no, please.
I'd have to be my dead body that somebody just propped up and press play or record, because you won't catch me on TikTok. Well, the first thing I did was clean out my email. I cleaned out like tens of thousands of messages out of my email. I've been doing some organizing around the house, and some home improvement type stuff. I've been playing drums. I've been working on music, like I said, with Vanessa. The last few days, I've been writing some. Man, it's been a really interesting time, because at the very beginning of this all, I'm an introvert, and I really like being at home. I like my own company, And at the beginning of this, I was like, I mean, of course, the context is not what we want to have happening in the world, right? Like, it's not a favorable context. But there was a part of me that was like, oh my gosh, I get to be at home. I get to be creative. I get to focus on myself. And there's all these creative projects that I've been neglecting that I'm going to work on. And then, sort of the reality of the situation set in. And I realized, there's a lot of things that there's a lot of like personal business things and logistic things that I need to deal with that relate to, sorry, my battery came on. So then, for like 2 or 3 weeks, I got kind of mired and bogged down in like, sort of like, okay, well, yeah, I don't know how long this is going to go on. And I'm not working until this thing is over. You know, like I got to figure out my life because this is
Yeah.
crazy. You know, so I got kind of like, there was a couple of weeks where I got kind of held up in all of that kind of stuff. And now I feel like I'm on the other side of that, and I'm feeling creative again. And like I've been writing a lot the last couple of days, and I dusted off an old project that needed my attention, and I've actually joined the screenwriting group. So that's going to force, I've got to, you know, in the next 2 weeks, I've got 4 scripts to read. I've got to be able to give notes, etc. So that's going to force me to kind of refocus my creativity in a direction that I want it to be going. And then, you know, I got my drums upstairs, and it's nice to be able to go and bang on those. That's pretty much what I've been up to, man. And also a lot of meditation, a lot of yoga and working out, a lot of like personal writing, like journaling, and kind of using this time also as a time to be productive toward self inquiry and self growth.
Cool. You're not doing any online classes for your people, for your fans or something? You're not doing like acting class, you know, some exercise routine class or something? No, you're not?
Dude, you're like, I think you're psychic. Yeah, so I got a couple things coming up. One of the things that I'm going to do is I'm working on developing. I really like to, when I do something, I like to do it right, and I like to do it well, and I like to do it thoroughly. So I'm working on developing. I'm going to do a Zoom. I'm going to do like a virtual meet and greet on Zoom.
Cool.
But there's some things that I want to have in place before I do that. I've teased it a little bit, and some people keep asking me when you're going to do it. And I'm going, just be patient with me. It's coming. So that's one of the things I'm going to do. And then, you know, like 3 or 4 different friends of mine, maybe 5, in the last few weeks have all said, Brian, you should do an online acting tutorial. You should do an acting webinar. And I was like, man, I don't know. That's really scary. You know, I've taught acting classes before. You know, I've been a guest teacher, and I really love teaching. But, you know, I just like, who, me, like, I don't know. It just keeps coming up, and friends keep telling me. And so I was texting with a friend of mine yesterday. She had she messaged me to give her feedback on the self-tape that she was doing. And so when she sent me the tapes, I said, well, do you want me to direct you? And she was like, yeah. So I gave her a bunch of notes, and because I like that collaboration. I want to direct at some point. So I got super excited, and I was like, all right, here's all the notes I got. And she ended up telling me that was really helpful. And, you know, we saw her work. We saw her work evolve. And I said, okay, let me ask you a question. If I did an online acting webinar, would you sign up? And she was like, absolutely, dude. I'll be your first student. I'll be the first one to sign up. So I guess I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a time to have experience, you know, to teach. If you have already like 1, 2, 4, 5 students, kind of like asking for it, just do it. I think you have to do it, though.
Yeah.
Normally, it's like me, you know. I have my little art school here, and I have someone to do those classes. I do all the advertising to invite all the people to get into the classes, but normally I just go once a month and tag and just one little class, but I have a teacher to do the art classes there. But now a lot of people ask me like, hey, when you gonna start with the art classes? Like, man, I don't wanna, you know, like the only time when I do when I paint is at nighttime after like 11 o'clock at night. So I start painting until like 4 o'clock in the morning. That's, you know, that's when I do my painting time.
And that's when I'm most creative too, is like between like 11 and 2 in the morning.
That's when you have the muse, you know, like getting to you. So normally if you get if you went to record or have a live, and when that time has to be at midnight, you know. and it's not gonna work for a lot of people.
Work for everybody.
So that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of people ask me, like, say, okay, I will do it, but I'm just gonna do private classes. I'm gonna do a group classes. I'm just gonna do. If you ask me to have you to take you teach you or something, it's gonna be a private class with you by Zoom, by Messenger, or whatever. By only you.
Mm-hmm.
Once a day or once or three for per week. I don't know, but that's what I'm doing now. But I get scared the first time when people ask me like, "Hey, when you do your art online classes?" Like, I know I don't want to do that, you know. You know, that's the only time when I paid and midnight, you know, and I start working by myself, you know, watching something or listen music, drinking something. I start painting by myself, you know, relaxing, taking my time. That's the only way.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good time to learn and to do the things like we didn't do before, you know. Do you saw my ukulele? You
Uh,
know the ukulele?
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I saw it. No, no, I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Did you paint that?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, man, that's incredible. That's so beautiful.
So everybody asks me if I do music. I say like no, but I paint. You know, the ukuleles, the guitars. I paint all the instruments. But if I want to learn something, I can play with this ukulele with one string. That's easy and practical. You know.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. I should have you. I should have you paint a drum set for me sometime.
Yeah, bring it on. Bring it on next time when you're coming to paint. You
Okay.
know that's. I just want to share a little bit how I met you the last time. I was with also Elsa Collins was online.
Yeah.
Elsa, how are you? Say hi. And I remember when you guys came the last time to paint with us at the border, the Brotherhood Bureau Mural de la Hermandad here at the border in Tijuana. And man, I really love what she does. Elsa, say hi. I love what she does. I know, you know, all this is about humanity. You know, bring all the people and friends and celebrities. So you know, all the people she brings to help this community at the border. And but the best thing what is happening to me is to meet people like you guys with that feeling, with that emotion to help the people here at the border. So that's what I appreciate of you guys, you know, and you know that's a good thing to that was the good way to meet you the you know the first time to do when you did something here.
Yeah.
I hope you really had a good time that day. That was different, you know, something different of your life. I don't know if you did that before.
No, I mean, I had done other volunteer things before, but nothing like what we did with This Is About Humanity. I mean, you're right. It's a really incredible organization, and what Elsa and the other women have done is just it's. I mean, it's why I've been. I don't know how many times I've been back. Not as many as I want to, because now because we're in the middle of all this, and our last trip got canceled. But it's why I went back. It's why I told Elsa, anytime you do this, I'll be on the bus. As long as I'm in town, if I can do it, if I'm not off working somewhere, I'll be there, because to me, it's just the heart that's present in the organization. It's incredible. It's not just about, to me, it's not about it is about the what, right? But it's not only about the what, it's also about the how. It's not just about what the organization does, it's about how they do it. And it's just, it was so moving to me. And yes, I did have a good time that day, in between moments of feeling horror, and a
I
feeling
know.
just incredible helplessness, in being faced with what some of our brothers and sisters are faced with, no matter nationality, race, ethnicity. Like, to me, none of that matters. We're all humans. We're all part of the
I
human.
know. I
And
know.
I just think it's a beautiful opportunity to help out and give back. And I was thrilled to meet you. I mean, I just think what you're doing down at the border is so cool. It's so inspiring. It's just so beautiful. You're taking a thing that has you know, that holds a lot of pain for a lot of people, and you're making it beautiful. You're creating something beautiful out of it, and then it's so inspiring to me. And so, yeah, man, I echo your sentiments. To meet in that way, you know, on that day was really special, and it's an honor to be sitting here with you today.
Thank you. No, that's appreciate. That's you know that's the way to meet you know good people to know each other. So I think we will see next time. We will came more. We will do more good stuff. We will show to the people the human how is it feeling, the human right what we have. I think I don't know if you understand everything what I said, but I tried.
I get most of it. I get most.
Hey, well, after before we finish, I think we have 9 minutes less. What is the next project you have? Next movie? If you can say it, right? That means next project you have something special.
Yeah, so I have a movie. Some of the people you probably saw my story on Instagram. So
Yeah,
a movie called Acceleration that recently hit video on demand, and it's on Amazon Prime in the U.S. and well, it's on Amazon Prime in the U.S. It's on video on demand in the U.S. and U.K. And that was a fun project because I got to work with a friend of mine. My friend Natalie was the lead in it, and you know, she called me up one day and said, "Ryan, I need you to help me out on this project. I got a fun little thing for you to do, and I don't want to give too much away because I want people to see the movie, but it was fun. You know, it's a cameo. I'm in there. I'm in there a couple times for a little bit." But it was cool because I got to do something that I've never gotten to do before, and I got to stretch myself. So that's out right now with Dolph Lundgren, Chuck Liddell, Danny Trejo, Sean Patrick Flannery, Natalie Byrne. That's my friend. It's a great cast. It's a
yeah,
fun.
it is. A
So
little action.
yeah, a lot of action. So that's out right now, and beyond that, I'm actually, when it comes to film and TV stuff, I'm in development on a number of projects right now in the film world. So, you know, those things sometimes go more quickly, sometimes they go more slowly. I can't really talk specifically about any of those, and especially right now because of what's going on. You know, it's really,
Everything is changed.
yeah, like the timetables are very unclear
Yeah,
for the moment. But I'll just, you know, I'm playing music, and as soon as Vanessa and I can get back out there and start playing shows again, I'll be playing shows, you know, on the East Coast in New York, probably here in California, and then, you know, other than that, I'm writing and developing projects, and you know, so hopefully I'll have some really exciting stuff to talk about in the not too distant future, and I'm working on a couple of other projects of kind of a different, you know, that don't really involve acting or music. Um, those I'll probably be able to talk about somewhat soon. Again, you know, like this one project that I'm working on, I was getting really close, and then all of this happened, and you know, everything just shut down.
and
But like I'd say by like July or August, this really personal, meaningful project that I've been working on, hopefully will be available to everybody, and I'll be able to start talking about it before then, and I'll be able to share it with the world.
that would be great to have you next time here to share that with us.
Yeah,
Hey,
sure.
another thing, but do you thought before if you write for a movie, produce a movie or something by yourself? I mean, normally a lot of actors getting the time into they want to produce their own movies, so they want to create or write or something. Do you do? Do you did? You want to do it or something?
I'm in the process.
Okay.
Um, I'm acting as a producer on 3 or 4 different projects right now that are in various stages of development, and you know, a couple of those, again, I mean, I sound like a broken record, but a couple of those were getting pretty close before the shutdown.
That happened.
So yeah, you know, we've got to regain that momentum when we're all able, when we're in the clear again. I'm working on a couple of things on my own that I'm writing, and then I'm working on a couple of other things that I have writing partners on. One of which is really exciting because I'm getting to work with somebody who is a total veteran in the industry and just has had an incredible amount of success. And I'm very fortunate to be, excuse me, in the same room as him, working on a project with him. So that one I'm really excited about, and I can't wait to share that one with everybody.
Okay, I want to ask you something. When we start this chat, you said you were a fan of John Bon Jovi,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Did you talk to him before or no? Did you talk to him?
No, I never met him.
You know he's in San Diego, right?
Is he?
Yeah.
He lives in San Diego. Oh,
I will check out for you the info of him. Like you can talk to him.
All right.
That would-
Maybe
that
we can get him to come on a This Is About Humanity trip at some point. What do you think, Elsa?
would be great. Well, we have Elsa here, so hey Elsa, help us please.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, one question. So, you've been working with some actor you were like fan, like when you were younger. You said like, one day, I want to work with this guy in a movie or act, like something.
Mm.
Were you were fan of someone?
Yeah, Clint Eastwood. That's one of the people
Clint
that.
Eastwood?
Yeah, I mean, I was a big Clint Eastwood fan. Actually, in fact, one of the projects that I'm working on right now that I'm writing, there's a Clint Eastwood reference in it.
Oh,
Yeah, I was a big Clint Eastwood fan growing up. My grandpa was I had a very close relationship with my grandfather. He was a big Eastwood fan, and so we would watch some Clint Eastwood movies together. And then I got to do Letters from Iwo Jima with Clint, which was, I mean, that was a total dream come true for sure.
okay. Oh, yeah, I hope so too. Oh, that's so great, brother.
Yeah.
Well, that's a really good thing, to talk to you, to have this live chat with you. Do you want to share something before we go? Some tips, something to your fans, some the people, because this video I'm gonna have this video 24 hours on Instagram, but also I save it on YouTube and Facebook in an hour, so
Good.
you just share to something.
Oh man, you put me on the spot. I guess I'll just say, excuse me, I'm really thirsty. I'll say I love you guys all. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for following what I'm up to and for your interest and for watching whatever I do and even if you don't like it, pretending like you do. Even if you think it sucks, for saying it's good. Without the thing about actors and entertainers, without the people who are loyal to what we do and who patronize or not patronize, who are patrons of or consumers of our work, we have nothing. We have nothing. I wouldn't have a job if people didn't watch it. So I'm just incredibly grateful, and I guess I'll offer some words of encouragement too. Just there's a whole lot that can be said about right now, but I think one of the more important things to remember is to stay courageous, to not let fear, and what might feel like a predominating narrative or worldview that is based and rooted in fear. Don't let that win out. Look for the truth always. Look for the truth in your own heart. Seek truth in the world, and you can have confidence and strength when you have truth inside. So keep looking for the truth. Keep seeking the truth. Keep loving. Keep open hearts. Love your neighbor. Love your brothers and sisters. God bless.
Thank you, brother. God bless you too, and I hope you get a lot of success after this also. And take care of yourself, take care of your family, and I hope everything and you having a good health with you. So I hope to see you soon. Take care, brother, and I see you soon.
All right. Thanks for having me on, brother.
I'm glad. Bye.
Bye.